What is happening, Dolphins fans? Welcome to another episode of the Fins Tailgate. What is happening, guys? And welcome to another episode of the Fins Tailgate. I am your host, the Master Man, El Capitan. How goes it, everyone? Let me get off this face follow real quick. Getting it crunk, getting it crazy. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving Day holiday. I know I did. Fam, food, football. Can't ask for better than that. American as a muh. How do I sound, guys? 'Cause I've been messing with this mic a little bit. What's going on, California? John, Lewis, what's happening, family? Capfo Life, what's happening? Brian, what's going on? What's up, bro? I see you watching on Facebook. Enjoy. Everybody's over here in the chat on YouTube. So if you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, or Twitter, make the small journey over to YouTube and subscribe over here on the network. California, what's going on? Green Rat, how's it going, buddy? Pamela, hello. How do I sound, guys? Sound all right? Can you hear the air conditioning in the back? What's going on? Oh, wait a minute. What's up, Color?
What's up, man?
Color?
Are you hearing me?
Uh-oh.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Hold on a second.
Oh my god, my Bluetooth's actually working.
I'm all befuddled right now, bro. Give me a second to... Uh-oh.
I am. I am too, bro. My Bluetooth's actually working this time. I don't know what the hell happened.
What? You got the Bluetooth kicking in on the freaking mobile, Cully?
On the StreamYard, yeah, man. It's actually working.
I mean, look at that, Color.
Burn my battery down quick, but, whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, thank you guys. Make sure you guys are catching all the great content we have here on the network. Still working out times and days for the new guys and Lewis and DTA as far as recordings and goes. But you guys can always catch color commentary, doing it all the time, anytime, every time. Not too different to El Capitan. And then you guys know tonight, Late Night XL. Oh, Color Millie Maker tonight. Ooh.
Yep, we're gonna be doing a Millie Maker show tonight. Get up on the panel. I'm going to take 9 people up on the panel, and the first people up get to help us make the lineup.
Well, I'll open it up for the Findicate Friday then today. I was thinking about going and doing it tonight, but that's okay. That's okay.
We could add that to part of it if you want.
No. It's all right. I'll do some recording episodes that I've been wanting to do. So I'll do that, and maybe I'll make an appearance on the Millie Maker or something if I got time.
Right on. Sounds good.
Color volume's a little low, Green Rat says. Yeah, he's on the Bluetooth, so maybe I can adjust it.
I'm going to switch back over and hang it back. I've actually, remember the errand I just told you about? I'm actually leaving now, but so hang me in back, and I'm going to go back on wired so it don't burn my Bluetooth, my battery down.
All right, Color, I'll see you around, homie.
All right, man.
All right. Yeah, so, guys, couple of things about the games yesterday. First of all, I had 2 parlays yesterday. If you guys seen me on yesterday's show, I had Giants plus the points, which they were getting 10. I had the Lions plus the points, and then I had the Vikings straight up to win. So I hit that parlay. I took $5 and turned it into 40. So I'm not bust just yet. The other one, I had Giants hitting the over, which was set at 17.5 points, which they did late in that game. I also had the Lions hitting the over, which was at 20 points, which they did that. And then I had the friggin' Patriots going under because they only scored 3 offensive points. They scored no offensive points. They had a special teams 3 points and a 7-point touchdown from special teams last week against the Jets. But they showed up and put some points on the board in a loss against the Vikings. So they totally screwed me out of that final leg in that parlay. So whatever, it's okay. Still not bust because I was down to like nothing on my BetUS account, but now I'm back, bitches. So, yes, guys, everyone hit that like button, please. And so I do have some articles we're gonna go through. We have some videos. Coach came out and talked today. We'll get into that. I'm gonna go into the numbers and a statistical breakdown from the Texans and Dolphins, a little bit how the stats stack up a little bit. Also, I've got something going on. Nathan, what's up, guys? Hit that like. I also got a little something. Little something. Where, Tua's on an MVP type of run right now. Everybody already knows. But there's also, the Bills and Josh Allen in particularly are just not looking like, Jesus, what in the fuck is going on with my hair today? God bless it. What is going on here? Anyhow, the Bills and Josh Allen in particularly are just not looking like the football team that is supposed Super Bowl favorites. And I've got some numbers here in correlation from how the Dolphins offense and Tua has performed against teams that the Bills have performed against. Mainly the last 2 games that the Bills had. So we're going to get into that here momentarily. So, yes, they're bums. They are bums. They suck. Listen, I don't even know who the Bills have next. Michael K. Who do you guys have next? I don't know. I'm Michael K. Bills fan in the chat. Maybe he'll let me know who you guys play next. But I'm telling you, Josh Allen is not looking like the guy. He's obviously, he threw an interception last night. It's just their struggles continue for the Buffalo Bills. They're still a good football team, and Josh Allen can call on that arm at any given, moment. But, bro, these the Patriots, defense and Jets defense are okay. Their offenses are terrible. The Bills' defense is middling, and their offense is not what it used to be. This time is right, Dolphins fans, with our offense firing on all cylinders and our defense hopefully getting a little bit healthy and getting a little bit better with the addition of Bradley Chubb. We getting ready to take this AFC East. This is our time to take this, and I don't think the Chiefs haven't looked to slow down at all, so they'll probably be number 1 in the AFC. So we should always shoot for number 1 in the AFC at this point. That's something you guys should all think about, and that's where I'm putting my energy. I gotta be real, guys. I'm not looking at making the playoffs no more. I'm looking at winning this division and trying to get good seeding through the playoffs, because as we all know, one of the best ways to get to the Super Bowl is to have home field advantage, especially for us Dolphins fans. And when we have a South Florida football team, that these northern teams playing up in inclement weather have to come down here And if it's 80 degrees and 75% humidity, it's not going to be good. Allen right now has 19 turnovers. I mean, he is number 1 in turnovers right now. They aren't looking good. I'm going to go through a little bit of these statistics right now. So just bear with me just a moment because I want to kind of bookmark this. Let me get this McCookenstein. Guys, hit the like button, share the video, tell people to come and subscribe here at the network. We need all the subscriptions, all the likes, all the help we can get. It's the best way you guys can help. You guys can also help in other good ways, like supporting the channel through the links and for Cash App and Venmo is a great way to help out. $ the Fins Tailgate at Cash App, the Fins Tailgate on Venmo. You guys can also help by buying yourself some good gear at our website. We have down there brand new shirts of It's in My DNA Miami. So get yourself some of that good stuff. Got some hoodies. It's getting chilly. Get yourself a hoodie. Get yourself a beanie. And buy yourself a fire hat as well. All those good things are in the description below, and also there's a link in the description for Fanatics, who we are partnered with.
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
So yeah, guys, the Fanatics link is in the description, as well as the link for Backroom Collections, who has all the fire one-of-a-kind memorabilia for your man cave. If you use offer code #TFTG, you'll get 10% off of all your purchases through them. So let them know we sent you guys. Make sure you guys are checking out all the good on all the great that they have, and represent the TFTG while you're doing it. Let them know Fams is sending you by. Color, did you want me to bring you in? I see you popping back in there. You want me to bring you back in, Color? I see you're in. What's going on?
Oh, you didn't have to. I just popped out because
Okay.
my phone lost connection for a second.
Got you, buddy. Got you. I'll hang in the back. Just hit at me in private chat if you want to come up.
Roger that, man.
All right. So yeah, guys, a little bit of delving into some of these numbers here. And something I just, in some of these Dolphins victories against opponents that good teams are supposed to beat, like the Lions, the Bears, the Browns, oh my, the Dolphins have done a good job handling opponents in which they should handle. And, in these victories, alls I see is Bills fans straight up going, oh, those are terrible football teams, blah, 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 blah. It's all that stuff. Well, shoes on the other foot right now. I'm going to delve into these numbers here for you, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. But I need to get those likes up. There's over 40 in the building, only 17 likes. Before we continue to go, I need everybody to hit the like button right now. So please, guys, hit that like button. Make it happen. Get those likes up. Help out the algorithm. Help out the show. It's the only way to help out the show in a free means outside of just attending and watching. So hit those like buttons, and I'm going to go into some of these numbers here. So, for the Browns, who the Bills, beat 31-23. They struggled all in the first half. Dolphins beat them handily, 39-17, an absolute shellacking. You guys remember, we got to see Skylar Thompson come out in that end of that game. So, I don't know what's going on with all this. Again, they've narrowly avoided. You're right. They narrowly figured it out in the second half, the Bills against the Browns. But let me just go into the numbers to correlate from how the Dolphins are doing it and how the Bills are doing it. So the Dolphins with Tua was 25 of 32 for 285 yards with 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions against the Browns. Okay, the Dolphins also ran for 195 yards against the Browns, giving them a total of 480 yards. So, on the other end of that, Jacoby Brissett was maintained for 35 attempts, completing only 22 of his passes, giving him a total of 212 yards with only 1 touchdown. Their offense, with their run game, only produced 324 yards against the Browns. Well, on the flip side of that, the Bills and Josh Allen, who beat them 31-23, Josh Allen did not have a good game against a Browns defense that continues to reel. He was 18 of 27. Terrible. Had 197 yards with only 1 touchdown. Now, mind you, they ran the ball for 171 yards against them, still shy of the 195 that the Dolphins put up. But it gave them only a total of 368 total yards. Well, the Browns in that game beat them in total yards. And not only that, but Jacoby Brissett outplayed Josh Allen in that game that they lost. 28 of 41 for 324 yards and 3 touchdowns for Jacoby Brissett against the Bills defense. They also rushed the ball for 80 times, which the Bills did a good job maintaining them. Not as good as the Dolphins, but hey, whatever. But in total offense, the Browns had 404 yards against this Bills defense. That pales in comparison to what the Dolphins did to the Browns defense, allowing them to only have, the Browns offense allowing them to only have 324 total yards. So, again, MVP type season from Tua come back to reality for the Bills and their team, putting up 197 yards and 1 touchdown against the Browns and having to lean on Josh Allen's running. Josh Allen running the ball is their biggest weapon, and it still continues to be that way. And you'll see what I'm talking about as I get onto these Lions right here. Now, the Dolphins beat the Lions 27-31, and it seems like a closer score than it really was, but really it's not. The defense had to hold the drive, but we were crushing them all game. Tua was 29 of 36 against the Lions with 382 passing yards and another 3-touchdown performance. He is straight. I want to say these last 2 games that he had against the Browns and Lions, he was FedEx Passer of the month or the week, so he continues to do that. While the Dolphins defense held Goff to 27 completions on 37 attempts, a total of 321 yards, which is good, but only 1 touchdown. And they only allowed 82 yards, giving up 403 yards of total offense to the Lions. The Dolphins did come out with that victory, as you know, as we anticipated, 31-27. So, but the Bills last night struggled against the Lions. They literally had to have Allen drill one in there to Diggs late in the football game to put him in field goal range to narrowly escape. And you guys seen the meme of Josh Allen hugging Diggs. We did it, Diggs. Thank you. I don't know. I saw the Bills gave out some game balls. Diggs got one. Allen got one. Their kicker got one. I don't know how Ed Oliver did. Ed Oliver, straight up for that defense, he did all the heavy lifting last night against the Lions. But Allen against the Lions, in a victory they won 28-25, he was 24 of 42 attempts. I mean, damn, dude, that's just a hair over 50%. I think it was 58% he was hitting his passes, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He continues to throw bad interceptions. They ran, their rushing game was 164 rushing yards. But wait, what I told you about Josh Allen using his legs is still the biggest weapon on that team. Out of that 164 rushing yards, 78 of them was Allen. 78 yards. They're still doing the friggin' Bears method. That's just facts. I'm sorry. The the Bills are closer to the Bears than they are to the Dolphins. And what I mean by that, and how their operation, and they lean so top heavy on their quarterback and what he has to do for that team. And this was kind of our point, that's only going to get you so far for so long. When you're asking your quarterback to freaking run around like that, when he's, having to hurdle and jump and having to throw the ball, you're asking him to bail you guys out all too often. They had 417 total yards against the Lions, which, all right, was pretty good. They did get more total yards against the Lions, than I expected. I guess that running game did come through. But the Dolphins, again, against the Lions, had 489 total yards. Okay? Against the Browns, the Dolphins had 480 total yards, while the Bills had 404. Again, Miami offense outdoing the Bills offense. The Bills defense against the Lions allowed Goff to go 23 of 37, 240 yards, and 2 touchdowns. They did hold them to just under 100 yards at 96 yards, and yes, they did hold them to a total of 336 total yards in offense for the Lions. Ed Oliver had most. He had most to do with a lot of drives getting killed over there. But again, their offense continues to struggle, and it struggles in its creativity. It struggles in its running game outside of Allen running the ball. It's really a one-dimensional type of offense. It's Allen does everything. It really is. And Tua out here having an MVP season, but yet this offense is all so creative. Let's call it for what it is, guys. They got to dumb down this offense for their dumbed down quarterback. It's just the truth. Sorry, you don't want to like it. Allen, yes, is a better, more superior athlete than Tua. That's right, I said it. He's bigger. He's got a stronger arm. He can run harder just on sheer size. I don't know how much faster he is than Tua as far as straight line running. That's probably not too whoa. What the fuck? Yeah, let's block this user, this nasty, strongy 90 thing, fucking nasty bastard. Anyhow, the only difference, I see a lot of correlations from like a Carson Wentz and a Josh Allen. Josh Allen being far and away more durable than Carson Wentz, but I mean, what are we talking about? You're a top-heavy football team that is struggling against opponents that the Dolphins are putting in the dirt. Okay? So just be real here, Bills fans. You need to check yourself before you wreck yourself. This 10 days of rest is going to be absolutely needed because there's injuries on your defense. Von Miller should be back, but he's still, banged up. Gregory Rousseau. The Bills, Super Bowl favorite Bills, are not, they ain't scaring us. They ain't scaring nobody. It's just the truth. The freaking NFL has to help out the Bills at this point by taking them from their home stadium, moving it to the Lions Stadium, and then telling everyone that it's too difficult to travel in while 50,000 plus Bills fans leave in a snow blizzard storm to go to Detroit. Explain that one to me. No one can make it in to Buffalo, but every motherfucker can make it out. Stupid. Lies. BS. There is a regression happening with Josh Allen. There is a regression happening with the Buffalo Bills, offensively and defensively. And I'm sorry, but you guys are struggling to put up numbers and get out with wins against opponents that anyone on paper would look at and say, yeah, the Bills should destroy the Lions. The Bills should destroy the Browns. You're not. And that's it. Trash can Allen is coming. The Bills continue to leave on their top-heavy quarterback, and they're going to find themselves struggling. You're going to. You're finding yourself struggling already. Allen is playing injured. I don't care what anyone says. You can, put a little needle in his arm and every time he needs to throw for a game to have him push through that pain. But nerve damage is happening, and you guys are you're really risking it all of a future. Because let's face it, Allen's a pretty good quarterback in the NFL, but he's not the type of quarterback Tua is, a system guy, an elite passer inside of timing routes and putting it where it needs to be. Allen is a big, strong arm guy that can heave it hard and do it. It's not ball placement. It's just the facts, okay? I'm sorry. You guys want to hear the truth. That's not my fault. I'm here to give it to you, and I still stand by what Color said, and I confirmed that this Bills team, they might not end up last in the division. They might not even end up third. But the Dolphins will end up taking the AFC East. And it's going to be an uphill battle in the future for you guys. It really is. So, that's it. That's what I had for you guys on that. It's facts. It's truth. And you don't have to like it. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button and subscribing to the show. And, come back around to catch some good stats for that kind of stuff, for sure. Go. All right, guys, hit the like button, please. Make sure that happens. I'm going to start getting into some articles. This is just the reality of things for you Buffalo fans. I'm sorry, but the reality is y'all are struggling. So, Big Goat might want to do some research. What do you mean? What does Big Goat need to do? Bears, dum-dum? Okay. They were 5th in pass defense. Yes, Mick Goat knows what the fuck he's talking about, Michael. Mick Goat keeps his, Sal says, El Cap, Bills win in the division. Tua hasn't played one game in crap weather, LOL, or won a game that matters yet. Well, first of all, Sal, they all matter. So, that's the reality of it. When people say this game doesn't matter, that game doesn't matter, they all matter. If the Dolphins drop one to the Texans, that game's going to matter a lot. Now, you could say, yeah, it's a game that don't matter because the Texans suck as they make a change at quarterback and everything. But the reality is that they all matter. No, it's not what he claimed, Michael K. He claimed that their pass defense was 5th in the league, and they were again when the Dolphins went to face them. That's the facts. So, I don't know what else to say, guys. We can sit here and try to find ways to fit, but you can say the Bills, should be. I'm pretty sure the Lions' defense is like last in the league as they held you guys all the way to the very bitter end. I wish, somebody was there helping the Lions head coach Dan Campbell out with timeouts and clock management, but whatever. Try to get into the playoffs or playoff game itself. LOL. I don't know. Yeah. Green Rat with the emojis is on point right there. Yep. Bills, trash can. What a shit hole. Listen, it's okay, Bills. You guys are still a good football team. You are. And you'll probably end up in the playoffs. I would venture to bet that you'll end up in the playoffs. But will you be second in the AFC? Will you guys... what's up, Color? Pop in here.
Sorry, it pops me in automatically.
All right, I'll drop you back. It's going to be an even harder uphill battle for the Bills as they're a wild card team having to play everywhere else in there. And we know how the Bills literally, I hear all this, oh, Tua can't play in the elements. I'm only hearing from the Bills how the elements are affecting you. It's too hot from the sun. Like, what are y'all, a bunch of fucking vampires? You know what it is? It's South Florida in September. It's hot as shit. You played us there every year. I didn't hear any of that nonsense when you guys freaking gave us. We didn't score a single point on you. Didn't hear how hot it was then. Now what is? It's too cold. There's too much snow in Buffalo. That's your fucking house. You know it snows there. Now you got to go to a dome, and you dumbasses are building a stadium that's only 3/4 coverage. It's still not a dome. How are you gonna tell me this? This is bullshit. This is just bullshit. So, you talk about Tua in the elements, but I only see the whole Buffalo Bills team scared of elements right now. The fifth element. Tua's the fifth element. Bitches. All right. Enough with the Bills and their excuses and the darlings of the NFL getting help from the NFL at every turn. There's far too much money in Vegas riding on the Bills making it to the playoffs. There's far too many people that have said the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl or be the hardest team. There's just too many people that would look too stupid, and too much money will be lost for the Bills to not get help from everyone and everything around them. So we will let this happen. It will continue. The Dolphins just need to take care of their business. The good Lord on the side of QB1. And, we'll go ahead. And when we go to Buffalo and it's too cold and snowy, when we whip your ass in Buffalo, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for Tua in a fucking blizzard to straight dice you guys up for 300-plus yards and 3 touchdowns. While Allen's over here with a heating pad, trying to keep his play with himself hand warm for later tonight, because it's the only loving he finna get. So, I digress. Let's get into some of these articles. I'm sick of talking about the Bills. You guys suck. You guys are... Patriots probably should take one of those out of them. Dolphins 2-7 in the last against the Bills. Sal, that don't mean shit to me, bro. We literally were a team that exploded our franchise in 2019. In 2020, we got a rookie quarterback coming off an injury and an old-timey quarterback playing around out there. 2021, lots of struggles with coaching staff and offensive play calling. You can't equate having success against the Miami Dolphins the last 3 years and think, no, you know what? Yes. Continue to think that the Bills are finding the same old Dolphins. Go right ahead and make that mistake. Please have stupidity again with it. So hit the like button. It's not excuses, Sal. It's facts. Excuses I get is from Bills fans saying the fucking sun's too hot. The weather's too cold. I mean, what do you freaking need your porridge just right? Little Goldilocks? Gotta get your porridge just proper? It's too hot. It's too cold. It's too rough. It's too lumpy. It's too meh. My hand don't feel well. I need perfect conditions for perfect execution for perfection. Bullshit. Get out of here with your nonsense. Pamela says, they wish that's how it was. Their time has come to an end and they can't handle the truth. It's true, Pamela. They're being exposed for what has come to fruition. It's just reality, guys. Bills are stagnant and or falling. Dolphins continue to just... I mean, stock right now on the Dolphins is way high. Just the truth. Tua's on the bench with Allen's injury. I don't know what you're talking about. All right. Let's see here, guys. Let me get this computer screen on point. I'm going to go ahead and... You know what? Before we get into the Texans and these articles that I've got, let's go ahead and hear from Coach. Coach was on today, had media availability. Let's go ahead and watch that and get a good listen in on all that stuff. really, if you took out Josh Allen's rushing game, the Bills they'd be a 500 football team. It's just a fact. If Josh Allen didn't have the legs and the ability to run like he does, the Bills would be a 500 football team. It'd still be the same Bills.
Yeah. No, appreciate it. Excited to spend money.
So my streak of not asking injury-related questions open will end regrettably at one. Sadly, because we saw Raheem on the injury report with a knee yesterday, not able to practice.
Yeah.
Is he out Sunday? And do you know how the injury happened?
Oh, it's something that he's working through. I would never completely rule Raheem out, but I think it's a little uphill battle that we're just like it's days away in terms of whether or not he can. If he doesn't, he'll be close, but we'll just have to do the smart thing. So it's
Mike, you're on point. I can't run. He's just Kirk Cousins.
It's that guy, but also we're having to be very mindful to protect him from himself as well. So that's about all I got on that one. It was a great streak, though. Wow,
Yes, it was.
God, those was a day, guys.
Roger Maris.
Coach, week 12, with the win, you all had the chance to end the month.
Uh-oh. What happened? What's going on here? A little bit of loading action going on. That's odd. God, everybody's home for the holidays, so the Wi-Fi has just been absolutely terrible.
We're having to be very mindful to protect him from himself as well. So that's about all I got on that one. It was a great streak, though. Wow,
Yes, it was.
God, those were the days, right, guys?
Roger Maris.
Coach, week 12, with the win, you all had the chance to end the month of November undefeated. How much do you think the layoff has had an effect, or are you all still maintaining that through time?
No, is different and is very on any activity right after a break, because you don't found out team the hunger and go and compete together and continue to work on their game has at all, regardless of how much they had at Thanksgiving. They've come practice some. I think that changes. And you're very.
What is going on here?
And that you actually feel.
All right. Give it a second, guys. Let me close some of this other bullshit down. All right, let's try this again.
Like, maybe we're close to looking like we want to look like it in all three phases. That always varies on the people that are in that locker room. This particular locker room, if I was a betting man, I'd bet it would have worked out the way that it did in terms of them coming back with full steam and that eagerness and addiction to the continued drive to move forward in the season. You never know, but feel very good about where we're at.
Mike, how big of a talking point this week has it been for you to, with your players, to not overlook a Houston team that's coming in with a very bad record with what you guys have beyond game?
With our team, I didn't have to make that big a deal about it because they know where I stand. You know, this is something that you address early in the season, and you know you try to frame to the team. Really, what are we doing? We're trying to progress and get better as a team each week, and you do that through a very good prep and detailed prep for an opponent. But who we're playing doesn't matter. What matters is that we continue getting better what we do and try to win football games in the process. Now they know, you know, I love to throw ideas or facts or ratios at them, and you know, how much sense does it make to ever work? What did you say? 250 to 300 days together, with trying to protect or perfect the craft and be as good as we can at what we do. You have 17 ops and you take one off, so that didn't make any sense from the off of that. The being entitled to winning a football game is nothing that this team would ever enter into, because it is a quick learning when you do the national football. Literally last year, teams that play through a lot of losses are dangerous, and you do not bait fate and say, hey, you know what, we want to learn a hard lesson, come punch us in the mouth. That's not something that this team plays hard, and if you give them an inch, they'll do what teams do every single year, and we don't want to be one of those teams. So I haven't had to really focus too much on it, because you focus on the tape and the play at this point in the season, conducting the same type of meetings each week, how we prepare for opponents. The tape doesn't lie. We're not studying win-loss columns. We're studying how our opponents play, and they play hard and will do what any NFL team will do if you take them lightly, which is make you learn a hard lesson that we don't want to learn.
Armstead and Morstead likely available?
Stead. They're steady. I'd steadily. I'd say that would be a likely scenario. I feel good about both those guys this week.
I saw Ahmed has 7 games played and Gaskin has 2. I'm assuming special teams play a key role in that particular decision. What will factor in to the decision to use one or the other as needed on Sunday as a running back?
It's important that you give guys opportunities. I think that if it plays,
I can't wait to watch Miles.
I'm saying, well, assuming Raheem is down, which these are things that aren't known to be fact, but I will play the exercise because I get what you're saying. They'll, in that event, they both get opportunities. I think that one thing that the public doesn't know, our team knows, is that Myles Gaskin has been doing one of the core character people in your locker room, doing things the right way. The whole team be really good. So both those guys have done a really good job, and give us versatility. We've had to make some decisions because of special teams, but very confident in essay as well. So what you do in those situations is you
realize, guys, Raheem, look, I'm only going to speculate on this, but Coach is smart enough to know what the Texans are, and that the Texans are a team the Dolphins are going to walk through. But, and I said this, I don't know, wherever on the show, somewhere else, doesn't matter. The Dolphins should have this game in hand by the start of the third quarter, sometime in the middle of the third quarter, around in the third quarter. Getting guys like Myles Gaskin, Sylvan Ahmed, River Craycraft, even Braylon Sanders, even Skylar Thompson. Getting some of these guys some work in a live game, executing this offense, even from defensive guys like the new guy Zimmer that we got around here. Getting these dudes in there, you're right, Green Rat. Mostert shouldn't play. Raheem Mostert shouldn't play. Easy E maybe they'll activate. We should definitely take advantage of this opportunity in this offense and get some of these depth guys some snaps and have them prepare, because later in the season, in the playoffs, God forbid injury or just guys that are banged up, you bring the next guys in and they're going to be able to execute at an absolutely much higher level than what they would if they had to be forced in there without having any type of, live game ordeal.
Make of your football team is that
Man, this fucking internet's pissing me off.
people get opportunities to resist. Maybe somebody else get a ball. You don't make those decisions in your mind. You let them make those decisions on the field. So that's how it'll kind of play out if that's the scenario.
Like, I wanted to ask you about Tyreek. We spoke a lot about his leadership and what he's done since he's come here. In that position you're in and the stretch coming up, how much do you think his experience help? How much do you think the players are going to lean on his experience and that help for the rest of the season?
Whatever you'd assume, it's probably that and a little bit more. That stuff is very, very real, and that goes with all the veterans, but him in particular. And I think that's what's awesome about Tyreek is that he knows that he's been places that some guys haven't, and when that's the case, there's an extra responsibility of, how do you handle the different climate, and how do you make it as normal as possible? These are things that it's not just him, but he's an elite example. But it's very important for you on your team to for the opportunity to have done those things, so you can kind of, create a situation where, and I know Tyreek looks at it like this, like, maybe some of these guys haven't, but, when you lead a certain way and you're able to exemplify, hey, you prepare in a very similar manner, all the preparation and all the stuff that you're building right now, when you get to those games, that should allow you to be as normal as possible. But you need a tone setter. That's a responsibility that he's excited about. And then, although a lot of guys are young, and create a situation where guys can feel a little bit more comfortable, like they have been there, as long as your leadership approaches the right way and understands where guys might be you know, territory always makes people a little uncomfortable, but I'm very confident that as we progress, we're putting pressure on ourselves every week in terms of how we perform, how we air, and how we're accountable to each other, so that shouldn't, you know, in hopes of that not being as big a deal. And those two things in connection should be pretty good for us. And I know, speaking specifically to Tyreek, he's pretty excited about that.
Michael, for the consecutive game, you're facing a team for which you previously worked. With that in mind, how significant would you say your stop in Houston was in the progression of your coaching career?
The tension was, you know, it was pretty much the start. I started in Denver, but it was instrumental with Coach Kubiak, and you know, I lived on North Braeswood down on the 610 loop, and you know, was like a 23-year-old that was like, what is this flat place? And you know, coming from Colorado, and it was very humid, and there was these weird highways that you could do a U-turn underneath it. I was like, what is going on? But hugely impactful. You know, that was I got my first vision of how to what problems you have to encounter. Your coach, you know, going that first year, first of the several times that all the have to get done was made that way. And then it was a lot of fun. They hadn't you know, it was part on the front end where we lost some heartbreaking games, but there was one in particular, you know, where you lessons for your entire career. One of the coolest victories we ever had in my career was, I think, in 2006, we were home in the Super Bowl that year. They were rolling, but you know, their team that was hungry in the year, and there's been a lot of losses, and we're able to make some plays and beat a team that is really, really hard to beat. That sticks out in my mind as much as any big game that I've been in. It was awesome. My time there, the organization was great to me, and got me used to sweaty, like, you know, prepared me for here for sure. So that is cool. But as far as 2 consecutive weeks, to be honest, I didn't even realize that until you said it. Just because I'm not really thinking about my own journey and what I'm doing, more thinking about the Miami Dolphins, and it'd probably be a little weird, or I might have thought of that if they're road games, you know, going back there. But you know, outside of that, it's just
passing game.
So it's just how I see really football. That I feel like there's the idea of having a depth on a route is, to me, the only reason you have it is so that you can time up with the quarterback so you can get the ball to him out of the break. And I think
That's the growth to
in the
entire
NFL is
they're,
immense because,
you know, in the same place.
they're tighter. The potential for, you know, catastrophic drive-ending bad things happening because you're late, so a defender can recover, or you're taking too much time and you're getting sacked. It's really everything, and I think a lot of times with the compounding variables of football, there's a lot of times offensive lines get blamed for certain productivity or, the black and white stat number. But, there's a lot that goes into the pass game and all of those things. If your timing's right, you can really minimize all the issues that occur and all the risks that occur when you pass the ball. If you live in that world and command the timing of all those things, then you can feel a little bit more
All right, fuck that. Sick and tired of the fucking internet getting me shit. I don't know what's going on. Internet sucks. Everybody's home for the holiday. This town fucking sucks for internet. So I don't know what to say. I'm gonna have to just spend the more money and get a dedicated whole other fucking deal for the office out here. I'm fucking sick of it, bro. Just smash everything to pieces here directly. So we'll go ahead and move to some of these articles then, because apparently we're not going to be able to watch any video without me just breaking everything to 1,000 pieces. So give me a few seconds. I'll pull up this article from Sun Sentinel, Chris Perkins. And if you're trying to watch the World Cup, you can watch it for free on Tubi. I know that. So if it's not on any of the local stations. God, dude, this fucking bullshit, dude. Damn it, man. I'm just gonna do recorded videos for now on. Fuck it. Raheem Mostert was seen Friday at practice, so for any know, he has been around. I think they should let Raheem take a little bit of a break, but we'll see. So, breaking down 6 matchups. Sun Sentinel ever fucking been up. God. I'm trying, Pam. I'm trying to show patience, but I mean, I'm trying to fucking run a damn show here, too. You know? Breaking down matchups for the Dolphins, who are 7-3, versus the Texans, who are 1-8-1. Who has the edge? David Fornez article from the Sun Sentinel. Here's a look at how the Miami Dolphins and Texans match up in 6 key areas ahead of Sunday, Week 12, against it at Rock Stadium, live at 1 p.m. on CBS. So, when the Dolphins run by season best 195 rushing yards in their dominant victory against the Cleveland Browns, not to be confused with the struggle session and all the helping out the Bills in their victory against the Browns. Jeff Wilson Jr. has gotten himself incorporated into the Dolphins' run game incredibly since the trade deadline. He had his 119 rushing yards in his second game with Miami is a season high in individual rushing performance on this football team. Miami is moving defenders at the line of scrimmage with every member of its offensive line anchored by Teron Armstead at left tackle. Robert Jones at left guard and Brandon Shell at right tackle have been solid since each one of them have been inserted into the line, complementing the already reliable right guard Robert Hunt and newly transitioned center Connor Williams. Austin Jackson's return could be for an interesting decision for Miami Dolphins coaches in potentially breaking up the current momentum on the line, which I don't think they're just going to put Austin Jackson in for the sake of Austin Jackson. All right. Anywho, the Texans have the NFL's worst run defense. They've only held an opponent under 100 rushing yards just one time all season, and they've surrendered performances of 281 rushing yards and 314 rushing yards to the Bears and the Titans, respectively. With 5 of their top 6 tacklers being defensive backs, it shows how often opponents are getting to the second level. The edge going to the Dolphins. Next up, when the Texans run. A rare bright spot for Houston this season has come with rookie running back Dameon Pierce, who I wanted for the Dolphins. If you guys remember when we were going into the draft, it was Dameon Pierce I wanted the most out of that draft. I figured we should have done whatever, taken our 3rd round pick and gotten a 5th rounder and moved up the draft to get Dameon Pierce, but we didn't. He has been a workhorse for the Texans, averaging 17.5 carries per game. He also has 780 rushing yards on the year. Season though, 8 yards on 10 attempts against the Washington Commanders. The Dolphins' run defense ranks middle of the pack at 16th in the NFL, but that number is skewed by the yards on the ground given up to mobile quarterbacks like Bears' Justin Fields and Ravens' Lamar Jackson. Against running backs and traditional run game, Miami has been absolutely outstanding, as evidenced by holding Cleveland star running back Nick Chubb to 30 yards on 10 carries, aside from his 33-yard touchdown once Miami led in multiple scores. So, edge to the Dolphins on the rushing attack. Quarterback put together 3 outings of his career in succession, posting a passer rating of 135. Let me back that up real quick. Tua Tagovailoa has had his best outing in these last 3 games, posting a QBR of 135 or greater against the Lions, Bears, and Browns. Oh my. Throwing 3 touchdowns and no interceptions in each of those last 3 games. He's now 9-0 with touchdown interception ratio in that stretch. The league leader in quarterback rating has spearheaded the number 2 passing attack. Star wide receiver Tyreek Hill maintaining his lead in receptions at 81 and receiving yards at 1,148 on the bye week. Dolphins are down a game in the bye week to some of these opponents and still hold top of the tier with quarterback and wide receiver. Minnesota's Justin Jefferson was held in check on Sunday, kinda. Meanwhile, Jalen Waddle has 878 receiving yards and is ranked 5th in the NFL. Miami's offensive line has also kept Tua clean since his return from his concussion. Armstead will have to contain 34-year-old Jerry Hughes on the edge, which is washed. That's why Texans collecting a paycheck. He's on pace for a career high in sacks, though, which I guess if he was your star guy, you would figure out ways to dial up to get him on isolation. He's the only bright spot, already with 8 to his at this point the season. Lovie Smith's defense. The Houston secondary has potential in the future standout rookie corners, and Derek Stingley Jr., who was picked number 3, and then the second-round selection, and safety Jalen Pitry. Dolphins get the edge in this as well. When the Texans pass, Houston is turning to backup quarterback Kyle Allen over Davis Mills. Now, real quick, guys, I remember Kyle Allen when he was with the Panthers. Coming in those years right after they got rid of, what's his name? Drawing the blank. Cam Newton. He wasn't the worst quarterback of all time. He really isn't. He's actually not too bad. I remember joking that he's the better of the two Allens. But Allen hasn't thrown a pass for the Texans this season. Has completed 63.1% of his passes for 4,318 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 17 interceptions in his previous four NFL seasons. Now, just so you guys know, in his 4 previous seasons, it adds up to 17 games. That's a full slate of NFL football. So the guy is throwing 63.1% and has 24 touchdowns and 17 interceptions with 4,318 yards in a collected amount of football jam-packed together. That would be a full season. So the guy isn't like terrible. You know what I'm saying? Mills, on the other hand, has thrown 11 touchdowns and 11 interceptions while completing 61.9% of the passes as the Texans started through these first games. So he's not. He's probably. I don't know. There's things when you look at Davis Mills that you go, wow, he's got pretty good arm strength, but I mean, he's a 5th round pick. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're obviously gearing towards tanking, collecting draft picks, trying to get the one overall. They're doing what the Dolphins did, but they're allowed to do it and not get penalized for tanking, because everybody fucking hates us as the Dolphins. They can't stand the fact that we're a good football team. They don't like it. I get it. We know this. Whatever. They got to take our draft picks. They got to kick our owner out. They got to, have fucking investigations on us every 2 years. And it's only because it just they suck. They just hate us. It just is what it is. I mean, it's been like that forever. Brandon Cooks is a prime deep threat in the NFL, but he has underwhelmed with 39 receptions for only 461 yards and just 1 touchdown. Houston has gotten more efficiency out of the second-year wideout Nico Collins, who has 28 catches with 402 yards on 47 targets, compared to Cook's 66 targets. Former Dolphins tackle Laremy Tunsil should curtail the Miami pass rush on the left side, but the Dolphins will take that into consideration. All that has come from the draft picks they've received for trading him to Houston in 2019. Edge defender Bradley Chubb plays in his 3rd game for Miami since the team has acquired him. Jalen Phillips, Melvin Ingram, Andrew Van Ginkel, and others could form a fierce pass rush despite the loss of Emmanuel Ogbah for the season. Look out for cornerback Xavier Howard after getting rest during the bye week after his groin injuries limited his effectiveness in the first half of the season. The Dolphins again have the edge in the passing game. Special teams. Now a little different here. The Dolphins continue to be plagued by special teams blunders and mishaps, which I'm fucking sick of seeing. The latest slip is with Jason Sanders missing 2 extra points last time out against Cleveland, which made for a 3rd short kick missed in the past 2 games with him. Miami also gave up a 48-yard return on the opening kickoff against Cleveland that game. The Dolphins have been fine in a punting game, but didn't even have to use it against the Browns. The Texans, Kamimi Fairbairn kicking. Kamimi Fairbairn kicking. He has made 18 of 20 field goal try attempts and all of his extra points, which were 15. Cameron Johnston is their punter, and they have Desmond King, who I like Desmond King, who was an all-pro in 2018 with the Chargers returning punts. So in the edge is given to the Texans in the special teams department, mainly because I don't know what the hell's going on, Crossman, but the kickoff and punt return, mainly kickoff returns, you need to get a little better at with your tackling from these guys, and Jason Sanders just needs to get out of his head and go back to Jason Moneyman Sanders and not fucking set. The worst case scenario, but definitely could be better for and I would like to see better from them as well. Let me go ahead and we'll pull up this stats type of ordeal to go into for you guys. Just give me a second, guys. Hit the like button, everybody, please. Make sure you guys are checking out all the shows we got around here. We got Ali, you got Color, you got Lewis and DTA. All the guys coming around doing a little bit of something every time I turn around. So make sure you guys are hitting the like button, turning the notification bell on, and checking out all the great content. So, breaking down where the Dolphins and Texans stack up offensively and scoring offense. Dolphins are 7th, while the Texans are 30th. Dolphins averaging 25.2 points per game, and the Texans are only averaging 15.9, giving them the 30th ranking. Now, as far as passing offense ranks, Dolphins are 2nd in the league, with Tagovailoa averaging 293.8 yards per game. Texans, on the flip side of that, are 26th in the league, averaging 192.2 yards per game. A stark difference of 100 yards in passing. In rushing, the Dolphins are ranked 27th, averaging 97.7 yards per game, while the Texans are just shortly below them, with ranked 29th with 93.7. But don't let those numbers fool you guys, because I think we all can remember how many times we gave the ball, whether it was to the pass or in a run, to Chase Edmonds, who just got nowhere. Drive Killing Edmonds is his name, and that's why now that he's over with Denver, they've not even used him. He's just a guy they're hanging on to. They got rid of Melvin Gordon, and they're going to let Chase Edmonds sit there for a little bit. They're going to ride with the other guys, and they're going to find out what the Dolphins found out, that Edmonds is just not the fucking guy. Offense, Dolphins yards per game is 3rd in the NFL with 391 yards per game. The Texans, on the flip side of that, are dead last, averaging 285.9 yards per game. In first downs, the Miami Dolphins are 7th in the NFL, averaging 21.6 first downs per game, which is fucking insane. The Texans are 30th in the NFL, averaging just 16.7 first downs per game. Now, in penalties, the Dolphins, as you guys know, we've had plenty of games. We've been good in recent these last few games since Tua got back and the offensive line stopped moving guys around. We've been getting fewer and fewer penalties, but there were so many games. I mean, I think they had 21 penalties in 2 weeks for like 200 yards. So Dolphins are tied for 22nd with 6.3 penalties per game, while the Texans have been relatively clean of a football team, averaging only 5.2 penalties per game, which they're tied at 6th in the NFL. Oddly enough, the Texans and the Dolphins are tied in the turnover margin at -2, ranking them both at 24. Now, sacks allowed, which the Dolphins' offensive line has really it's a stark difference from last year to this year, the type of, beating Tua was taking last year. Dolphins are tied for 6th in the NFL, averaging only 1.8 sack per game, which they haven't given up a sack on Tua. I know they didn't give one up last week. I don't think they've given one up in the last 2 weeks. I think they've only given up 2 sacks in the last 3 weeks right now. The Texans, on the other hand, are ranked 23rd, averaging 2.8 sacks per game. Look for the Dolphins to crush that and get at least 3 sacks this week against Allen, who's probably going to have some timing issue, who the offensive line is going to have, some getting used to with a different quarterback out there. Quarterback change to give your team a spark, a little bit of help, but there's all these other ancillary type problems that are created when you make a change at such a big position like quarterback. The timing of routes, the communication, the cadences, all those things are going to hurt the Texans more than they're going to help them this week. That scoring defense is tied at 22nd. Giving up 24.1 points per game. Texans defense, mind you, is ranked 18th with 23 points per game. So a little slightly bit better. Dolphins defense has been reeling, but it is completely different from last year. The defense playing at such an elite level, carrying this football team in so many ways. But all the injuries in the secondary has really badly hurt us. Passing defense. Dolphins ranked 22nd, giving up 239.8 yards per game, while the Texans defense is giving up only 210.7 yards per game, ranking them at 16th. So they have been doing decent in their back end as far as in the pass game goes with their young talent, the rookie safety and the rookie cornerback as well. But against the run, and Myles Gaskin going to get some of these yards this week too. Jeff Wilson, if he's on your friggin' fantasy team, guys, if you got Jeff Wilson, start him because he's going to go off. Dolphins ranked 17th with 116.9 yards per game, but that's a little inflated of a number, as you guys know. Those rushing quarterbacks have done most of that damage. Against running backs, the Dolphins aren't giving up 60 yards a game to running backs on average. Just so you guys know, if you're a running back and going against this Miami Dolphins defense, they aren't giving up more than 60 yards to any running back this year. So the Texans are dead last, though, averaging 178.9 yards on the ground given up every week. So Dolphins defense is ranked 21st, giving up 356.7 yards per game, while the Texans are ranked 30th, giving up 389.6 yards per game. His defense and sacks are only averaging 2 per game, ranked that ties them at 21st in the league, while the Texans are ranked 17th, tied at 17th, averaging 2.2 sacks per game. Their defense is by far the strength of this football team for the Texans. Kind of hard to give it the strength. Probably a lot of those numbers are inflated because the Texans are playing so much defense because their offense can't stay on the football field. Those numbers are a little winkety-wankety because of that. So don't worry, guys. This isn't a game to overlook, and Coach is saying all the right things, and I applaud him for doing so because we don't need us to look through the Texans. We should get out there, start hot, beat the mortal hell out of them, get it done, get it over with, maybe go a series or two. This should be treated like the third preseason game used to. You roll out your starters all first half and maybe a little bit in the third. You run up the score on a punk-ass team like this. Then you put in the other guys, Skylar Thompson, Teddy Bridgewater, whomever. Get them some good work. Let them do some stuff with the other guys, Eric Ikuzama, Braylon Sanders. Try some other things out while you're 3.5 scores, 4 scores ahead of them on points. And let these other guys come around and do some work around as well. So, this is I'm excited for the game. I'm probably not going to call the game, but it is what it is. I wanted to go ahead and, come on here with you guys, give you guys some of the work I've been putting together, give you guys some of the stats, let you all know what it is, what it do. And tonight, though, Color is going to be doing the Millie Matchmaker. We'll have him open up for color commentary. It'll be a Syndicate Friday, so he'll do the panel and all that good stuff as well. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down, guys. If you haven't hit the like button, why? Why haven't you done that? Hit the like button. If you guys are just jumping in, go back and rewatch this video. I gave all kinds of good statistics, all kinds of good information. And you guys should feel very good, Dolphins fans, because after Sunday, we will be back in the AFC East crowns, and we will be second in the AFC again. The Bills sit up there. They're fakes, and they're getting exposed weekly, and will continue to get exposed weekly. So hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. If you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter, do us the favor, come over to YouTube, become part of the family, and we'll see you guys next time.